Hello 7th graders, I hope you have been doing well. Today we are going to continue on in Unit 1 talking about Lesson 1.3. So 1.3 is all about adding integers. So that is our topic. So we've talked about what an integer is. An integer is any positive or negative whole number. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So our learning target. I can add integers using zero pairs and number lines. Alright, so we are going to split this lesson in half. So today we're only going to talk about the zero pairs, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about number lines. Okay, so our first vocab word is zero pairs. So up at this top box you can write zero pairs. So what zero pairs are is they are a pair of numbers whose sum is 0. So I think it's easiest to explain when we draw a picture. So for instance, if I have 4 positives and I have 2 negatives, okay, my zero pairs are these ones right here. This is a zero pair and this is a zero pair. So those essentially cancel out, and what I am left with is 2. Okay, so what this means in numbers is I have 4 positives and I am adding how many negatives? Right, I'm adding 2. So it's always best when you have 2 operations next to each other that you put parentheses around the 1. So 4 plus 2 negatives gives me a positive 2 as my answer. Okay, so that is what zero pairs are. So what we are going to do is we are going to practice using zero pairs to find all of these sums. Alright, so we're going to start with number 1. Negative 2 plus 4. So if you want, you can pick a happy number for positives and a bad number for negatives. It's up to you, or you can do it all the same color. Okay? So my negative, man, I'm not really a huge blue fan, so I'm going to do negatives as blue, okay? My negatives, I have 2 of them. So I'm going to draw my 2 negatives, and I have 4 positives. I love the color purple, so I'm going to use positive purple. So I'm going to draw 4 plus. Alright, so now what we need to figure out is we need to cross out all of our zero pairs. So this one crosses out, and this one crosses out. I am left with 2 positive signs left. So my answer is just 2. Alright, let's go to number 2. 3 plus negative 6. So I don't notice any sign out in front of the 3, so that tells me that's a positive. Alright, so I have 3 positives. Alright, now I am adding 6 negatives. So I'm going to do 6 minus signs. Now I'm going to find my zero pairs, so I'm going to figure out which ones cancel out. So this positive and negative cancel out, this positive and negative cancel out, this positive and negative cancel out. So I am left with negative 3 for an answer because I have 3 negative signs. So my answer is negative 3. Alright, as you start doing this so many times, you'll be able to visualize, you'll be able to visualize this and you won't even need to draw it out. But since we're just starting, we are going to draw it out, okay? So our next one is a positive 8 plus negative 9. So since there's 8, I don't know if I'll have room to go 8 going this way, so I'm going to go horizontal. 3, 4. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. So I have 8 positives and I have 9 negatives. 1, 2. Alright, now we're going to find our 0 pairs. We're going to cross out any that match up. So I'm positive and negative, so on. Alright, I'm left with 1 left, and it is a negative, so my answer is -1. Now, just a hint when we are solving these, that when you notice, so if I look at this problem again, I notice a positive 8 and a -9. I know that 9 is bigger than 8, right? And that 9 is negative. So that tells me my answer is also going to be negative. Okay, if that didn't make sense, don't worry. It will the more we practice it. So now let's look at the last one. I see a I see -5 plus a -7. Alright, so I'm going to draw my 5 negatives. 3, 4, 5. And then I also notice that I have a -7 here, so I'm going to draw 7 negatives. 6, 7. Alright, can any of these cancel out? You're right, they can't because they're all negatives. I don't have any positives. So none of my 0 pairs work. I can't cross any out. So my answer is simply going to be adding up how many negatives I have, and then that's my answer. So if you count how many negatives, I have 12, and they are negative, so I need to add a negative sign. Now here's a hint for you. If both of your numbers in your problem are negative, okay, all you have to do is add your numbers, but then put that negative sign out in front since they were both negative. Okay, that way you don't need to draw all these negatives since none of them cancel out. So if both of my signs are negative, you can just add the numbers, and don't worry about the sign, but then in your answer you need to remember to have that negative sign. Alright, so right now you are going to complete C.1 and C.2 on IXL. If you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. Otherwise, good luck. Goodbye, 7th grade.